Hey everyone, it's Imogen aka missimoinsane and welcome to my video. Today we are going to talk about tags. More specifically, altered tags. And basically this came to my attention within a couple of groups. Mainly my friend Jamie asked in one of the art journaling groups. I think it was Art Journaling for Beginners, or it could have been another one. I'll pop the link in the description to that particular group. Basically, my friend Jamie posted saying that somebody had gifted her some tags and she'd altered them up a bit and she had no idea what to do with them. And a couple of the other ladies in that group, they all said that these tags were beautiful and she did like a really good job, but what were they for? So I decided to take it upon myself to shed a little bit of light about tags. And first of all, what can you use them for? I personally send them in racks, which stands for Random Act of Kindness. So when I send out happy mail to people, when I send gifts, sometimes I send them instead of like birthday cards or what have you, because they can be used as a card, they could be used as a present gift tag, like over embellished or under embellished. We will talk about that in a moment. You can use them as wall art, as decoration, as almost like anything. You could use them as embellishments themselves on other altar projects or on top of cards. There are a lot of uses for tags, and here is some examples of some of the ones that I have made. And basically, which brings us to part 2 of this video, is now you know what tags are for, or you might have some ideas what tags are for. Where can you find them? So they're typically known as shipping tags, and in this particular bag here, you can see I have a lot of them. I typically buy them in job lots, and these two came from eBay, and they are a manila. I don't know how well the camera is actually picking this up, but they are more of a cream than a white, but they're not quite yellow. Sometimes manila tags are quite like yellow. And then I also got these brown ones, which are available in, sometimes you can find them in the pound shop here in the UK, but typically they're in the works here in the UK. But as I said, you can find them online, and these are in 3 different sizes. You can buy them in all variants of sizes. You can find them in pretty much any stationery office type shop. Luggage tags, shipping tags, somewhere along those lines. So once you've got your tags and you can buy them, or if you don't want to buy them, you can make them. I have a die cutting machine, which I happen to have a Cuttlebug, which I'm pretty sure is by Provocraft, and I also have these Tim Holtz dies, which are the framelets. Is that what they're called? There you go. By Sizzix, Tim Holtz, and there's 8 different dies in this packet. I don't particularly like the packaging. I like the packaging that I can reuse, and they do typically fall out here a bit. So I am going to take the largest one and do an example of that in just a moment. Alternatively, if you don't have those, you can take whatever measurements you like. Typically one side is longer than the other, so you would have a rectangle. But it doesn't have to even be, it can be a shape like a heart or a star or a bird or a circle. Like, nobody's particularly said tags have to be tag shape. It's just tags typically are tag shape. You could also buy one of these punches. This is a particularly large one, but not a particularly large one in reference to the size of, say, these tags. Hold them side by side, you can kind of get the idea. But using something like this would be great to do mini tags as embellishments, but even on top of bigger tags. So you could layer your tags if you wanted to. I have that particular punch because I wanted to put the jewelry that I make on it if I came to selling it or went for selling it. So yeah, so failing all that, if you take a piece of paper and some scissors, you could just hand cut yourself some tags. And by paper, I do mean decent quality paper or cardstock. Such as, you could get this black, 200 grams. This is 99p in the works. Or you could get some white, and these are £1 in the pound shop, but you get the very similar ones in the works also for £1. In fact, this is 200 grams, and I believe that, yeah, these ones are from theworks.co.uk or in store, and they were £1, and these ones are 140 grams. And I have some other white card, I'm sure, which is 220. So any of this card will work. This is a bit thin. It's more of a paper quality. This is thicker, and the higher this grams number, the thicker the card, or the thicker the paper, I should say. So you could use card and print out your own. You could recycle birthday cards. You could recycle cardboard from cereal packaging or other food products, as long as obviously it didn't have any actual food on it. But yeah, there is so many different ways of which you can obtain materials and then either cut them using freehand with scissors, with a paper trimmer or guillotine or something along those lines, with a die cutting machine like a Cuttlebug, with die cutting plates, or you can purchase them, and these are really fairly inexpensive. I think I got a pack of something like 500 of these for about £8 including shipping, something like that. They're really, really inexpensive. So once you've decided upon your tag, you've then got so many options for decorating, and there are so many things you can do. You could use paints, you could use pens, you could use a mixture of paints and pens. If you were into art journaling at all, then you should know all about backgrounds and creative backgrounds using collage, paper, paints, pencils, pastels, chalks. There's so many different painting on, there's so many different techniques. Then there's stamps, and there's stencils, and there are so many different ways of, you could use ink, you could use you could just cover it in paper if you wanted to, or washi tape, or fabric, or anything that you could possibly think of to cover it. Or if you wanted to, you could even leave it blank as is and just use it like that. On top of this, we can then build up to the next layer. So we could stamp, we could add stickers, we could add any kind of flat embellishments that we wanted to, just to give it an extra bit of decoration. And then even slightly raised, like diamante gems and enamel dots, and I'm trying to think, like puffy paint, like glossy accents, anything that will raise it up just a little bit but not so much. Then like really 3D embellishments like buttons and keys and charms and glass cabochons pieces, plastic pieces, acrylic pieces, resin pieces, zips. You could add so many things to this. There are just so many different things that you could add. So here is just some of the ideas of stuff in my overly extensive craft selection of which you could add to. Further in that, you can add ribbon or trim or baker's twine or string or cotton or wool, any kind of fibers or materials that are like string type materials. You could add them. Lace, you could add that. You can add it to not just through the hole, but you could add it to the sides or to the bottom or across, or if you wanted you can cover the whole thing in a large piece of lace. You can attach that with hot glue or E6000 or Yoo-hoo glue or glossy accents or anything that will hold the materials together. And then once you've sort of built that layer on, you can add other pieces like wood veneer or metal, just bigger pieces. People add sentiments to their tags and just all sorts of different things. You can add like a little charm hanging from the ribbon. You can add a stick pin. That's been done a lot. And you don't have to just stick with that. I mean, you can also use your stencils, and you can use like your mediums. So you can use modelling paste, crafter's paste. What's that paste called? You know what I mean. Texture paste. Texture stuff. Textured materials. You could have primed this like you would do with your most of your journals. You could use you could use gesso to, you know, use that. You could do all kinds of different things. So hopefully now you've got an idea of what a tag is. If you want to do some research on tags, or these particular tags, search for altered tags, and you can search altered tags in YouTube, Pinterest, or Google, and it will come up with thousands of altered tags in all different shapes, colours, sizes. So altered tags. For our third cutout of our tag, I'm using this Cuttlebook, and it is the second version of the Cuttlebook. And basically when you pull both of these sections down, it suctions that into place so that will not move. And then you can open up the handle and basically roll. So I'm just going to grab my plates. Apparently I turned you off as I went. So we're going to start off with our A plate. Then we're going to put in our C plate. Then we're going to put in our dies. And we're going to make sure our dies are as close to as possible. And you always want to make sure that this little raised edge is facing into your paper. So facing up. And then you want to place your paper or card over the top. And then to finish off your sandwich, you want to add a B plate on top of that. And then you want to hope that nothing has moved. Yeah, that's not what we do at all. We do not drop it to make sure. Back in. Back on top of there. And then that back on top of there to make our sandwich. And then you want to just wheel it through. Like so. And then if you want, you can also send it through again. Like so. And you will end up with the impressions in your top piece. This is a new piece. It happens. So then you want to basically separate. So here's that little piece. And then here's the next piece, complete with hole. So here's your next tag. And then finally the big piece that's cut out. This is actually sort of embossed as well, which I'm not particularly too happy about. But for what we're doing, it will be fine. So let me just clear all this up and get this out of the way. So just especially for you guys, I switched my camera around. And you can see we've got the big tag that we made. We have this tag which we need to finish off, and we have this tag which is store-bought tag. So this one we just cut on our paper trimmer. And all I'm going to do is use this quarter round punch to cut those two. Then I'm going to cut a triangle off of my top corner. And then what I'm going to do is flip it so that I get the exact same on the other side. And I'm really sorry if this is really whitewashed out. I have bought a different light and lighting tent and stuff, and hopefully I will be getting that sorted really soon. And work out where the center is. I'm just going to eyeball it. And then I'm going to put a hole punch through it. So about there. That's about central. So we now have this tag that has the rounded corners, and we punch through the top. We could have used other punches for this, like decorative corners and edges and all sorts of things. And for this, what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to decide it upon a paper, and then I'm going to flip it over and decide which way I want it. So I want the stripes going vertically down my tag. And then you can do this one of two ways. You can either put the tag on, trace round and cut it out, or you can do the version of which I am going to do. And you can glue the tag down onto your paper. So for this, I'm just going to take an ordinary. So then we have our tag, and it's covered on one side. So then we can put our extra paper away, flip it over, and we don't have to go with this whole amount. In fact, I'm going to trim this edge up a bit more, because so we are going to work out roughly where we want our center to be. Ink or almost any kind of ink, but I'm going to use the Tim Holtz Distress ink, and I'm going to use it in Black Soot. It's becoming quite popular with me. And just a makeup sponge. And all we're going to do is dab this in, and then we're just going to go over our edges. I like working on wax paper, and I'm sure a lot of people who do art journaling and crafts and stuff already has this. And now I'm going to work out what I want to do next. So I want to build a layer. And I think I want to build a layer using, I think I want to do some paints. I think I want to do some gesso. So with I made a purchase with Spooky Box Club, and I've now subscribed to them. So I will be doing unboxings on this channel as well. But I made a shop purchase as they have a summer sale on, and you can buy individual items from their previous boxes, or you could buy some of their previous boxes. I bought some individual items that I liked, and they sent me this really adorably cute pumpkin washi tape. I'm hoping to show this for you, and it's quite a chunky washi tape compared to normal sizes, and I want to use this because it's pumpkins, and I decided that I'm going to do a Nightmare Before Christmas themed tag. Just that off, and then I'm going to take my pumpkin tape. This is washi tape, Japanese paper tape or Chinese paper tape, and hopefully now you can see that pattern a little bit better. Yeah, there we go. How pretty is that? And I'm going to use this on here. And then what I want to do is, I was going through my stash before when I came across this random metallic shiny circle, and it seems to have spiderweb design on it, and I thought that this might go great along here maybe. So apparently I forgot to hit record while doing this, so all I did is I took a little piece of black card and I folded it in half, and I cut out the little Jack Skeleton type bow, like the bat bow. And now I'm just going to take my white it's the Signo 0.7, and I'm just gonna roughly draw in the eyes, and I can't remember exactly how this goes. Okay, so it has these little eyes, and then it has see if you can see. Can you see? There you go. The other way. And up. This is my little Jack Skeleton bow that I just made. And then I'm going to find this piece of card and this piece of ribbon, not ribbon, lace, and I am going to put some glue on, and we want to be careful because this is hot, and being that it's a hot glue gun, you'd be very disappointed if it wasn't. Right. And then I am going to make another glue dot. And it's been a while since I did this, what I want to do, so I want to push it down, but I want to push it back on itself so it makes like a box trim, and I want to do that all the way for what we need to do. So put some glue, and then we want to put this down. And of course you could just measure out like a tag's worth, but I'm not exactly sure how long or how much of this I'm going to use. So I'd rather have more and waste a little bit. Well, it won't be wasteful because I find other projects to put the excess on. And we've done nearly half of it, so I'm definitely not going to use half. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this up. So that we have done half. And to finish this off, I'm going to put a bit extra. And everything down. Excess. We've got this piece of decorative. This. And I'm going to put that on there, like that, I think. I think my problem is, I don't know if I like it or not, and so I think what our problem is that I can't really tell how it would look. I cut a bit too much now because I just realised I could easily reuse this. Okay, now I want to take a pencil and I'm going to freehand my sentiment onto this. So I wanted to do it fairly Tim Burton style, the Nightmare Before Christmas kind of a style. So I went onto thefont.com and my mouse is now not working again. Yeah. So I went onto thefont.com and I basically just looked at the screen while trying my best to sort of freehand this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour it and I'm going to emboss it. So I've got a few items that we need to be able to do this. First of all, let's move that slightly out of the way a bit. It's still on, but I'm still using it. Probably shouldn't leave it on, but hey, I definitely don't leave them on anyway. So what I want to do is we need a tray to catch the powder so we waste not. I have this embossing pen, which is acid-free embossed jewel pen in number 57, which is real black, and these are by a brand that I totally cannot pronounce, but I will try and remember to put this in the description. and I just want this thin end. And we're going to go maybe one letter at a time. So I want to carefully go over what I've done. For some reason this piece of fibre hanging off of this. The thing is with this, it's not going to be perfect or an exact copy. Make it your own. So while that's wet, we want to dump some embossing powder on it. Give it a little tiny bit of a pat, only a real tiny little pat. And then we want to top it off, and we want to heat set it, and we want to do that for each letter. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but as you're heat setting it, you will be able to tell when it's done what it's done. This is a bit too heavy for me to hold up there like that, but basically it just looks like the powder, and then it will melt and it will turn into something really shiny and pretty. There we go. So it's the first one. And then we're going to repeat this process for... Be careful because this tag is hot. And that's what we're left with. So now what we're going to do is we've got to put this away. So I'm back with a plethora of things. And keep that out. No, this wants to stay hot. So we'll start out, grab out the fibres and ribbon and baker's twine, and then I got myself a charm, an eyelet, somehow, there we go, that ring, and jump ring. So first things first, I am going to set my eyelet, and I have one of these which is great for punching holes in fabric and leather and card, and like it punches holes in so many different materials. It is the Big Bite Crocodile. I'm not sure if it's not the Crocodile 2, but it also has a setting for eyelets. So I've just literally just taken my eyelet and I'm putting it in that hole that we made before. My eyelet setter is already set to eyelets, so I'm going to put it up. I'm going to make sure I catch it on the setter. It helps if you tilt your head and look. And then I'm just going to, with hands, squeeze down, and you'll hear this clunking sound. You want to give it a second squeeze, and that has now set the eyelet on the back. And you can still see some of the white from the back of the pattern paper, but I like that. I'm happy with that. So then what I want to do is I want to take my fibres and I want to decide which fibres I want. So I've got this one that's like a white eyelash. I might actually cut that, not exactly in half, but these scissors are rubbish. Where's my pencil? These ones. So not exactly in half, but so I have 2 pieces, and I want to try and put the tops of them together along with this piece of thin black ribbon. And then I've got, I kind of like this, it's a bit weird, I kind of like this fibre too. And then I have this thin black and white baker's twine and this thick black and white baker's twine, and the thick one I think I'm going to cut and do a second piece of, and then you want to kind of twist them all together at the top. If it helps, you can add a piece of tape or something, because getting them all through here together is often quite difficult, and we've also forgotten our ribbon piece, which I definitely wanted, so try and tuck that around there. And then get it through the front of our eyelet and pull. There you go. And then you just decide how much you want at each side by pulling the individual fibres and ribbon and lace or thread or wool, anything that you decided to use. And also this is the time in which you would try and position it a little bit so that things weren't all the same together. I'm trying to go through there. And then what I like to do is I like to take these hair ties, which are for hair braiding, when you have like all the little braids in your hair. I like to use these to tie off my ribbon. Most people just tie another piece of ribbon around or something like, or a piece of string and knot it off. It is completely up to you, but I love how this secures it, and just I've never ever had problems with these. Do not use loom bands, because loom bands degrade over time and they will just ping off one day. So, but with these little hair ties, you shouldn't have any problems. So you just keep pulling it all through, twisting it and putting it around like you would your hair, little hair braids. And I think I'm going to do it one more time. Am I? Yeah, one more time. Make sure you pull everything through, and then like, and then you want to pull them down like wood, and yeah, so then you've got this crazy top going on, which you will trim. So how do we trim? We basically decide how long we want everything, what's our longest pieces, and then we cut. So that's how long we definitely want it to be, but we don't want everything to be at this length. So I start by prettying up the wider ribbon, and this is a 10mm/1 cm ribbon in black. And take this lighter, and I'm just going to melt the end and wet your fingers a bit and make sure you got that. I do the same with this little ribbon, and what that does is it just stops these from fraying. To be honest, on a project like this, or if you were doing something that was a bit more Halloween themed, then you could really honestly get away with not, and then if it frays, it's fine. So I'm going to cut this one shorter than my other one, and at a different angle to it. And then we go in some of these baker's twine ones, like that one wants to be shorter. And also got this white thing going on here. It's a bit crazy. I'll cut some of that off. What else? There should be another single thin one, which is I think it was supposed to be a 0.5, but I'm not entirely sure if it's not 0.4. It's a thin black ribbon, and I think I said lace before, so sorry about that. And remove these strange white eyelash pieces, and let's see how that's looking. I think I like that. I'm unsure about this piece here, so I'm going to trim that little bit of baker's twine off that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my ring, which looks like this. It's not a jump ring, it's a rope ring, I believe these are called. And I like to use them as my connectors when I'm doing jewellery for my closures. And I'm literally just going to take a pair of, can we have some focus? Yeah. A pair of wire cutters, and I'm just going to make a little snip net. Once I've done that, I'm going to take my needle nose pliers. These are actually bent nose, and then these ones, and just open it. And you always open jump rings and the likes of by twisting out. Never pull them apart, twist it out. So I twisted it out, and we're going to show you that we have, there you go, like so. And then this wants to go in behind these on here. So I try and get it, it doesn't have to be behind all of them, just try and get it to go behind at least one of the ribbons. And it's going to catch on everything, but then you want to pull it through to the other side. And I'm trying to do this while on camera, and it's awkward. There we go. It is a bit of a little faff, but once you get it through, you're then going to pull it through so that your split's in the middle. You're going to take your pliers and you're going to close that up by just twisting it back together. Make sure that those two parts are indeed back together, so you clamp them down nicely. Then you're going to try and move that closure to the back so it's not seen. And then you're going to pull your ring down, and hopefully, yep. I'm not sure about these white fibers, I might trim these white fibers that are here. Into the tag. Above the tag is fine, but into the tag, no, I don't like that. Then I'm going to take my jump ring and also my charm, and I'm going to put my charm on my jump ring, and then I'm going to work it out so that I can put my jump ring through that ring that we put on before, and then I'm going to close it, the jump ring that is, and make sure that that is lined up nicely by giving it a little bit of a mush together. And I'm going to pull that down and hope that our charm sits nicely in the middle. There's a few more spidery eyelashy pieces, and I don't like that. That can go, and I don't like that. That can go, and I don't want that piece of fluff on there. So, ta-da! Like you didn't see that, come on. So I have this Jack Skeleton charm on my tag that says, "What's this?" and then this at the bottom. And then you could go in and add more decorative lace and such. This we will need our glue gun put back in. And if you've got white paint on it, all we're going to do is, you could get something to cover this, like you could print out something, or you could just get a Sharpie and pretend that white paint never happened. Likewise, you can ink up the sides, like this. And some of this bottom edge as well. Okay, so I'm hoping the glue gun's hot enough now. And I'm going to try and move those spiders out of the way, because we really should have done this before. But I wasn't going to put it on, and I'll change my mind, so I am. So I just want to glue right near that edge. And I want to put this eyelash trim on because it looks kind of spidery to me. I want to try and glue it straight on to the very edge. Oh, look. Well, I didn't manage to glue any of that down. I'm going to try and run my tip over it. I really do not like this new glue gun. Like, at first I was like, yeah, that's amazing, I love it. But it heats up inside the body, and then glue gets everywhere, and it's really hard to press it out, and it doesn't want to come out, and then you have to force it. I've not tried it wireless, so I can't say how that would be. But I found that I don't really like wireless glue guns. I find it a lot of... What the hell's going on there? I have no idea what just happened there, but somehow it's all decided it wants to curl up. This is both really nice and really weird. So push that down. And I'm hoping that we can do what we normally do on right angle corners, and that is like try and pleat fold it like you were doing a bed, which was great until I had to touch it. Okay, and then I apologize if you can't see from my hand. And including the corner. And that's the thing as well with stretchy material. Kind of just, it wants to stretch and I don't want it to stretch, I just want it to be taut. And I try box pleat style at corner. Here. I think we did it. I think we succeeded. Peeve is foreign things sticking to me. Okay, so then you want to kind of work out a little bit more than you need to finish it off. Move out the excess out the way. And then you want to get the top of the tag out the way. And you want to just step off. And then you want to make sure that both sides are secured down. And then you want to go back in and you want to carefully trim off any excess, but being careful not to trim off any of top fibers. I like this, but I don't understand why that's doing there. A piece of glue here that I'm really not happy with, so I'm just going to move that out. And then I can just touch it. So any glue that you've got in places that you shouldn't, you can sort of fix with by heating up and pulling up. You want to be careful not to pour anything you don't want or damage your tag in any way. I'm really enjoying how this turned out. So I'm going to call that done. I did contemplate about adding a row of lace behind here. Let me see. Something like this. But I kind of feel like it's enough. And I don't want to go overkill. But I'm really happy with it. So this is my tag. And yeah. So this is the finished version of this tag. And I'm really pleased how it all turned out.